Today, I have for you 4 creative ways to move. If you're like me, sometimes the regimented exercises can just feel like a lot. They feel impossible. 15 minutes feels like it's way too much time. I don't even have that. Sure, there's a conversation in there about prioritizing time and getting a little more organized for routines and stuff like that. I am not a fan of waking up early. Once upon a time, I was, but I am not anymore. As a mom of 4 busy boys, and I have my own menstrual cycle to, contend with and all of that, and listening to a lot of developing science about things that we already knew, like women need more sleep and stuff like that. I don't subscribe to the whole idea of wake up at 4 a.m. and do what you need to do. Dad, I love you. It's not going to work for a female body. So anyway, all of that to say, exercises can be really tough. And the other thing that I struggle with is that if I'm not teaching a group class of exercises, which I actually really enjoy teaching groups and especially teaching movement and stuff like that is a lot of fun for me. But if you're not doing that, I feel like it could be really, really mind-numbingly boring. Just here I am doing the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And BirthFit has some really great programs that I feel like are more dynamic and interesting. But then, there's what I mentioned before, feeling like I don't have time, all of that kind of stuff. So all of that to say, this episode is inspired by me and the things I've been thinking about lately and some of the solutions that we've come up with here at home, my husband and I, for this very problem, because we both sort of struggle with the same sort of thing. We want more movement in our lives, and we're just having trouble finding something that's actually going to stick into our schedules. Number 1 is obstacle courses. And if you don't have the space to build the space or time or money to build an obstacle course on your property, my husband works in the construction field, and so he's got access to materials all the time. And but if that wasn't the case, it would be really difficult to sort of put things together like we are. But actually, that said, if you find some pallets and some creative design, I bet you could come up with something that would work. Even just, rings of rope on the ground and you're doing tires, high knees and all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, you can get creative with obstacle courses, but if you don't have that, then playground laps. And the funny thing is I thought I was coming up with this on my own. I thought this was a new idea that I was creating for myself, that I was going to share with you guys. And then I realized the first time I ever heard about playground laps, and I'm not sure if that's what she calls them, but the idea of going to a kid's playground and swinging from the monkey bars and doing all the things that your kids would be doing, that idea was first shared with me by Katie Bowman. She is like the queen of natural movement. I'm trying to remember what she's called. She's like the movement nutritionist or something like that. Nourishing movement, maybe. I think that might be it. But Katie Bowman is amazing, and she was a huge inspiration for me before I had my kids, but kind of around that time. I think I was maybe pregnant with my first when I heard about her. And she's not just, pregnancy or whatever exclusive. She's just all about natural movement in all stages and ages of life. And so definitely go check her out for some more inspiration. But the playground laps, that whole idea was definitely from her. And it's brilliant. The other day, I went to the playground with my kids, and I was like, oh, here's my opportunity. It had a nice high, climbing bar thing, monkey bars, and like this little, path that it wanted the kids to follow. And so I tried to do it, and I was shocked and laughing at myself because, let me be real. I kind of thought that it was going to be like cake. It was just going to be a cakewalk for me. It was going to be easy as pie. I was just going to fly through this because, I used to do this all the time. I've got this, right? I got halfway through the monkey bars and I was shocked at how much work it was. And I just kept laughing. I was laughing so hard at myself that I had to stop. I just dropped. I lost my strength because I just was laughing so hard because it was so ridiculously difficult for me. And I can't believe I was that weak. And my hands, it hurt my hands. I left my rings on. That was another, don't do that because that really hurt. It pinched the crap out of my hands. But even if I had taken my rings off, it would have been, I would have been dying anyway. So that's a really great thing to do. Take your kids to the park and you do the monkey bars. You go climb the things and run around on the balance beam and jump off of stuff and all of that. It's amazing. And you can do that same sort of thing through obstacle courses at home. You can make your own. I am really a strong introvert. So is my husband. I don't like doing things out in public, ironically. And so we're doing what we can to build something at home so that we can be a little more private, even though we live in a fishbowl and we have neighbors everywhere. But it's a little bit better than being out in public and all of that. So anyway, so that's number one. And frankly, it's my favorite idea, but I'll move on. Are you a mom wanting to get stronger and more resilient, but aren't sure where to start? Don't worry, BirthFit has your back. Sighed. BirthFit offers efficient, intentional movement and fitness training for women in their preconception, pregnancy, or postpartum seasons. Get 20% off any BirthFit program you purchase from their website when you use code HAYA. Support your body so your body can support you and this new phase of motherhood. Go check them out today. Number 2, doing what your kids do. So that, think about what your kids are doing every day in your home when they're moving their bodies. What are they doing? So if you have a baby, your baby's crawling around, hands and knees, crawling. If they're not even crawling yet, they're on their back with their feet, messing with with their feet up in the air and that sort of thing. And this is actually part of the basis of the BirthFit programs and how they created their work. It's based on this natural human development, these movements that help, make us into who we are as we're developing from, infancy onward. And it's really, really effective. So do what your kids do. If your kids are older and they're running around nonstop, they're jumping off of things, they're climbing stuff, they're play fighting, they're climbing, jumping, running, they're climbing in the trees, they're climbing over the doghouse and all that kind of stuff. They're dancing, they're wiggling, all of that kind of stuff. Do what your kids do. And that's guaranteed to be a workout. And do it as long as they do it. Do it with them. That would be a really great bonding moment too. And you're going to wear yourself out because of the great exercise that it is. So number 3, layering house chores or even office chores and things with squats or dancing, etc. So laundry lunges. I love alliteration. So laundry lunges. So when you're, maybe you squat down to take something out of the laundry basket and you fold it and then you do a lunge to put it down in its folding spot, until it's ready to actually be put away. And maybe when you are moving the laundry basket from point A to point B, you put it on top of your head and try to balance it and, and hold it on your head and as you're walking around and that sort of thing. Dinner dancing. You can, as you're standing at the stove and you're cooking or you're maybe even doing dishes and stuff like that, you're wiggling your butt a bit. You're doing a little salsa dance. You're dancing around. You're I don't know, doing the ska dance. You're skanking at the stove, stove skanks. Ska, anyone? So do some moonwalk from the stove when you're waiting for something to cook, and moonwalk to the dishes to keep those going or whatever. Yeah, I think you get the point. There's all kinds of layering that we can do that I think we just don't do. And those are other opportunities to get our bodies moving while we're, when we have those many, many times where we have to stay productive. We don't really have time maybe to play with the kids 24/7 or, run the obstacle course a few times or whatever we need to get things done. And this is what we can do when we're doing those things. And then number 4 is foraging, scouting, wilderness exploration. This is obviously outside of the house, or if you have, some land around your house, you could do that around in your yard. It doesn't have to be a big yard. You can go scouting in your yard. That would probably involve like kneeling and crouching and squatting and walking and maybe sprint to a spot. And that sort of thing. Think, uneven ground. If you're foraging, you're pulling and carrying and digging. Again, uneven ground, you're walking along rocks and that sort of thing. Just adventure. That alone is moving your body, and it's moving your body in an ancestral, ancient sort of way, natural sort of way, and a holistic sort of way. And it's also, that one's like extra points, I feel like, because you're probably out in nature, and, extra points if you go barefoot, like my friend here locally who inspired me. I'm barefoot everywhere. I'm at home, I'm constantly barefoot, but I never thought about hiking barefoot. And she posted something on Instagram, and I was like, how have I never done that before? So I'm going to try that next time we go hiking. I'm super excited about that. But if you don't want to be totally barefoot, or you're in a terrain where your feet are going to burn off, or there's just too many stickery things, try and get those like barefoot shoes or the toe shoes. Some of those can be expensive, but there are some that are not so expensive, and or make moccasins and go super classic with that sort of thing. Give your feet room to breathe and room to move, and no rubber soles so that you can connect to the earth. All of that good grounding stuff, layering upon layering. So this is a quick one, but I wanted to share those with you because, like I said, movement is so important, and it can be so annoying or so boring or so just difficult to get in. And sometimes we just need these little inspirations to find ways to take care of ourselves so that we can go on taking care of our families and the things that need to be taken care of for as long as they're needed. So quick run through obstacle course or playground laps, doing what your kids do, like crawling, play fighting, running, climbing, jumping, layering house and office chores with squats or dancing and that sort of thing. And finally, foraging or just wilderness adventuring and that sort of thing. So get out there, get your butt moving. We need you. The world needs you. And so you need to take care of you so that you can take care of whatever it is you take care of. And, you don't even have to be taking care of other things in order to take care of you. You are enough. You're enough of an excuse to take care of. So you're worth it. Do it. You can do it. I believe in you. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye. Hey, are you new here? Are you planning for a sovereign birth? Aren't you tired of piecemealing things together and being completely overwhelmed by all of the bazillions of options that are out there? You need to start with the Secret series. It's private and designed to orient you properly. Details are in the show notes, and I hope to see you in there.